And as we head downstairs, we get another cutscene here.
We should be able to get out through here. Just you try and take him.
The monsters are everywhere. What are we going to do, Erwin?
If they've made it this far around the castle, they must have the place surrounded. We'll have to use the tunnels. This way.
So the front door seems out of bounds for now then, which means we're going to have to use the tunnels in order to progress. But before we do that, there's a little bit more loot that we can actually go ahead and collect. So there's 2 rooms over at the western side here. We're actually going to go into the southern of those. And there should be a barrel located in here with 1 more item for us to go ahead and nab. There it is. Now, if you've been following my walkthrough, in particular the last video and this one, then you'll actually have collected all of the loot that can be collected during this past version of the Castle of Dundrasil. So, hopefully, you've gone ahead and done that. And, as suggested, we're now going to go ahead and enter the tunnel area, which means we need to go through into the northern room at this point. And we should find the king once more.
This was the one.
I possibly could have fought those monsters that we just saw come through the front door, but I didn't do so. Hopefully that won't matter.
Before the monsters find us.
I don't believe it will, though, so that's fine. Okay, nothing to loot in here, so we're just going to enter the tunnel straight away at this point. And now all we need to do is just make our way through the linear dungeons here. So these are the dungeons that we ran through, of course, a couple of episodes ago, but during the present, when we inevitably fought the Restless Knight, who is, of course, Erwin, but since he's succumbed to Mordegon. Right then, so we're just going to continue on. Looks fairly linear, as I say. So no treasures in this area this time. And this is where the last boss battle took place, wasn't it?
Time to make a break for it. I'll deal with him. Get out of here. Quickly.
But Erwin...
Run! And don't look back. All right, you despicable creatures. Do your worst. You won't get past me!
Okay, so we are going to go ahead and help defend the king here. And this is where I suggested that Quadra Slash might come in use. So we're going to go ahead and select tactics to follow orders at this point, and then go to fight, abilities, and Quadra Slash. And this just does a huge amount of AoE damage, really. So do this a couple of times, and to be honest, it should be pretty much by that point be battle over. So let's go again. Okay, only the main dude left to attack here. So let's just unleash an unbridled blade, and hopefully that should be pretty close to the end. Maybe one more attack. There we go, all sorted.
It's not over yet.
So that's basically just more of a slightly tougher standard enemy encounter than anything else.
And stay down. Right. Time to get after Ellen. King Cornelian? Over here, Your Majesty!
Alright, it seems King Carnelian is down here, and we know as well that he inevitably succumbs to the power of Mordegon. So let's see exactly what's going on, shall we? Let's just continue following the linear path. We haven't actually been in this... Oh, is this the same way we came in? Maybe it was. Anyway, let's see what happens here.
King Carnelian? What in the... Who are you? What do you think you're doing? Your Majesty!
Erwin, is that you? What happened? Is everyone safe?
You're all right. Thank goodness. Jade's with Eleanor and the Wee One, Your Majesty. They made it safely out of the castle.
I see. Good. Very good. I shall send my forces after them right away.
Your Majesty, what do you...
The bloodline of the Luminary ends here today.
King Carnelian? Your Majesty? Sire. Forgive me. I was unable to find you. I thank the heavens that you are unhurt. King Erwin, what has happened here?
I had no choice. He came at me in a frenzy. Queen Eleanor has absconded with the Luminary, and with my daughter.
Surely not. Whatever would possess them to commit such acts?
The birth of the child has put them both under great pressure. It has also caused the coming of the monsters, the loss of countless lives. Perhaps the coming of the Luminary does bring darkness in its wake. After all, without him, this tragedy would never have come to pass. Yes, I see now. He is not our savior. He is the harbinger of the night to come. The child of evil. The dark spawn. He must be found and dealt with. The peace of Erdrea must not be permitted to collapse. Find him. Leave no stone unturned.
Sire.
He is no harbinger of darkness. He is the Luminary, the Savior. Someone, please. King Carnelian must be stopped, or the world will be plunged into darkness. Eleanor, please, forgive me. I was too weak.
Okay, so that effectively brings us to the end of that particular flashback sequence, though we are thrust into this strange place with the beast in front of us. And it seems that it wasn't Mordegon's influence that brought the king into the state of becoming the Restless Knight. But we did get to witness the moment in time where King Cornelia became possessed by the power and control of Mordegon. So that's interesting. And so we also see when he started himself influencing Hendrik and turning him against the Luminary. So lots of exposition there. I'd recommend, in case you have done a few battles, saving up before heading into the beast here, because as you can probably imagine, there's going to be a bit of a boss fight here, and it might not necessarily be easy. But let's see exactly what we've got to deal with.
I am the Gloomnivore. I devour despair. And this one's misery is just exquisite. His kingdom ruined, his family gone, betrayed, dying alone. Which is why I've been drawing out his torture for all these years. One must savor such succulent suffering. But even the most fabulous feasts must come to an end. It is time to move on to the next course. How does your despair compare, I wonder? Hold still while I sample its delights. Give yourself to misery. Let anguish consume you. This is your most painful memory. The darkest, tenderest recess of your soul. Yes, your powers were stolen and used to give birth to a monster. You could not protect your friends. You could not save the world. What kind of hero are you? Pathetic. Wallow in it. Marinate yourself in misery. Yes. My mouth begins to water.
Can you hear me? Please, you must listen. There is a light inside you that can never be extinguished. It is waiting, biding its time. But it is there, and when it shines forth, it will illuminate the world. Now is that time. You are the Luminary. You must conquer the darkness. You must shine.
This light is...
What's happening?
You're back with us, laddie. Are you all right?
This light. Disgusting. It blinds me. It fills my mouth. It tastes of hope.
This is the beast responsible for King Erwin's suffering. We must defeat it and lift His Majesty's curse.
You dare disturb me while I prepare to sample the next delicious morsel of misery. No matter, your screams of agony will surely whet my appetite.
Right, so we don't get the opportunity to save immediately before this battle, but the autosave feature should keep us relatively safe, fortunately. So this is another boss battle, obviously. I'm going to go ahead and change everybody to follow orders. They're already set to that, which is brilliant. So let's go to fight. And we're going to start using Sylvando here, since he doesn't need to AoE heal at the moment, to buff the other party members. So we're going to begin with Oomph on Fuzz. Now, unlike some other bosses, we don't need to worry so much about lowering this boss's defense. And the reason for that is actually going to do it for us in due course. Not immediately, but he has an AoE ability, which will actually reduce his own defense, meaning we don't have to sap it. But he does have about 2,750 health, I think it is, which is obviously quite a lot. So what we want to do is just try and reduce the amount of damage that he's going to output to us. So as with the last fight, I'm going to recommend casting Blunt, since that will reduce the attack power of Gloomnivore. And also his AoE ability will be reduced in damage by that as well. So as you can see, quite a nasty ability there. With that Nightmare Breath or whatever it was called. So just keep Sylvando ready to heal. I would also recommend Parallax, as he is actually subject to paralyze this boss. So obviously it's not a guaranteed thing, but it's possible, which in itself is interesting enough. So we'll go ahead and Hustle Dance, top everybody's health back up at this point. And that Hustle Dance, which initially did about 70 points of healing per party member, thanks to the fact that we've boosted Sylvando's stats, such as his charm and what have you, that is doing a lot of damage now, which is pretty darn awesome, it's got to be said. So we'll continue laying on the Unbridled Blades, but just shy of 600 points of damage, which is utterly insane in my opinion. And we'll just make sure we keep the hero buffed. Rab is going to pretty much continue doing what he always does. So we've gone ahead and cast Blunt. We could go ahead, I guess, and perhaps cast it again. Might be able to get 2 stacks of it. Perhaps not. Oh well. That doesn't matter so much. So Hendrik will continue to use Parallax all throughout the fight here. Fuzz will continue to use Unbridled Blade. And he's already down into at least orange, if not red health. So he does seem to have a thing for Sylvando at the moment, which is perhaps a little bit annoying. But we are getting a Hustle Dance off now. Okay, who are we on this time? Rab once more. I'm actually tempted to go ahead here, and I could cast Pearly Gates. Yeah, I'm going to. I was thinking of healing Sylvando up to full just to be safe, but a little bit more damage here and there is probably going to be worth it in the long run. So another couple of hits like this, and I don't think the boss is going to survive too much longer. That's fine, that's fine. Let's just carry on with these Hustle Dances. And that should pretty much top everybody up. Yep. And I think that's it. Yeah, 652 points of damage. That's utterly insane, really. But the Gloomnivore is now defeated. Hey, some level hype as well. I mean, why not, eh? Oopful, that sounds interesting. That might actually be an AoE version, or just a stronger version of the Oomph spell that we've been casting when in boss fights. But I'll check that out later. So this should unlock a trophy for us as well, since we completed this part of the story.
Where am I? Wait. Those eyes. I'd know them anywhere. Son. Is it really you? It was you who saved me, wasn't it?
You're back. You're back to your old self at last.
Eleanor?
Our son has freed you. Despair no longer holds you captive. You are free to join me after all these years.
I am, my love. I am.
My dear son, my darling boy, many hardships await you. Many trials lie ahead, but you must not stray from your path. You must not falter. Let the light of hope, the light inside you, be your guide. And remember, we will always watch over you. Farewell, my darling. I love you so much.
Goodbye, my little one. Goodbye, Erwin. I hope both of you find peace at last.
Honey, your hand!
The mark. It's glowing again. Your powers, they're back!
The Luminary is restored to us, and all thanks to his honored parents.
Okay, so quite a substantial part of the story then that we've just completed, and we're just getting our next destination in place now, Octagonia. And the good thing is that we've got the Luminary power back, which means, oh, there's the trophy by the way that I mentioned, which means that if we go ahead and once the trophy's disappeared off the screen, I can show you this, and head to the character builder, then you can see that Fuzz, or your hero, whatever its name is, has a lot more in terms of Luminary powers that you can go ahead and explore. And you might want to go ahead first of all, as I've done, and just master out the Great Swords tree, mainly because of the Giga spells, which are just so powerful. But ultimately, if you go back to the Luminary tree, then I believe it's this secret panel here is an interesting one, and it's called Pep Power or Pep Up or something along those lines. And what it does is when you cast it as an ability, it actually allows you to enter the hero into Pep state whenever you want. Right, so if ever you need to get the hero into Pep state, then this ability will allow you to do that without having to wait whatever amount of time you would normally have to wait to do so. So that is what I'm going to be focusing on next. And not only that, but there's also some powerful spells you can learn throughout the Luminary tree as well at this point. So, yeah, I'm glad that I focused on the Great Swords first. I'm still going to keep those abilities. I'm not going to unlearn them. But now I'm going to head down into the Luminary section in order to go ahead and pick up some of those abilities that I mentioned. It's also worth noting as well that I think the Sword Mastery tree might have expanded. I can't remember. Maybe it had 10 abilities in it before. Either way, that's where I'm going to be laying my focus next. So I thought I should mention that to you. Right, so our next destination is going to be Octagonia, of course. So not much else we can really do in this area. I'd recommend just leaving at this point. Can we zoom out? Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. Let's just see if we can go to a random zoom here. Yes, we can. Fantastic stuff. Just so we can get out and save and what have you before we head into the direction of Octagonia. Well, I ended up actually porting over to the Dundrasil region campsite, which just made more sense since we're the closest position to Octagonia from there. I've gone ahead and saved. Thank you for your patience, guys. I did end up splitting this episode into two, as you may have noticed, but I didn't realise it had gone on for so long. This episode and the last episode, from your perspective, I actually recorded in one go. Thought I'd gone for about 20 minutes, and then when I came to edit it, realised it was about an hour, in fact. So, yeah, there we have it. But next time, we're going to head up north, so we're going to see what's going on up there. But thanks for joining me today, guys. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon for more Dragon Quest XI.